Audible is one of the best players in EU West, and yesterday he managed to claim top 1 of the region. He's a flex level player, but yesterday he had a really good success with a comp that we are not used to seeing in Europe, and even in other regions. According to him, the 6 scrap comp comes from China, and as of today, only the top players start to understand how strong the comp is. As usual, it will take a few days before this comp becomes mainstream and contested in every Elo in Europe and NA, and also other regions. So if you watch this video early, you have a few days to spam this comp and abuse it before it gets too contested. The scrap comp itself is not broken. There is a lot of RNG with the components, and you're forced to give up some completed items in order to put components on every scrap unit. However, the real strength of this comp is not the comp itself, but rather how you managed to achieve the final result. In other words, it is all about how you manage to snowball your game to achieve this final comp. That is why you will need to have an excellent early and mid game, and I'm going to show you later in the video the 2 different strategies you can apply to snowball the game with scrap. The second win condition is the quality of your augments. The 6 scrap comp is a A tier comp, but if you manage to combine the right augments, then it becomes a SS tier comp. Here, a list of the best augments you would like to have for each tier. Some are better for early game, like the scrap emblem, which grants you an emblem and echo, or junkyard, which grants you 1 component every 3 PvP fights. The main comp looks like this. You basically just want to put 1 component on Trundle, Blitzcrank, Ezreal and Janna, so they will transform into 1 completed item with the 6 scrap. If you feel like you don't have enough components because you slammed too many items during the mid game, or because your items are just godlike for Jinx and you can decide to play 4 scrap and use the full quality of your items. If you want to have this cheat sheet on your phone, you can find it on Tactor, the link will be in the description, and you can have access to a lot of information for free. Okay, this part is what makes this comp kinda difficult to master, because you will have to face many choices to make, and you will need to make the right choices in order to make a good game. So I will start with the item tier list of Jinx and Ezreal. Both like around the same items, and unless you play Ezreal 3, you want Ezreal to carry your items until you find Jinx. Keep in mind that you want to stuff them with 2 completed items plus 1 component, and if you have binary airdrop, then you can just give them 1 completed items plus 1 component. For Echo, you have no choice. It's Frozen Heart plus Morello and nothing else. I would suggest you to prioritize items for Echo the moment you hit Echo. Now let's talk about the components. For AD carries like Jinx and Ezreal, this is a tier list of the components you want on them. The idea is that they can transform into high tier items. For tanks like Blitzcrank or Trundle, or even Tankenge, if you manage to put a scrap emblem on Tankenge, you can put these components in priority. And finally, for any other units which are more utility like Janna, you like to have these components. They will often transform into valuable utility items. As I did earlier, there are 2 main strategies to play this comp, and you can apply those strategies from early game to late game and win with it. The first strategy is probably the one you want to play the most and the simplest to follow. Basically, you have a good start with scrap units and potentially a great augment like Scrap Heart, for instance. And you just want to play strongboard by slamming your items on Ezreal. You want to play 2 scrap, then 4 scrap, then 6 scrap. And you want to push level 8 and replace Ezreal for Jinx. Don't forget to slam only 1 item on Ezreal plus 1 component. And then immediately look for Frozen Heart and Morello to put on your Echo, because your real carry for the mid game is going to be Echo. Ezreal is good for early game, but he will downscale very hard. Since this strategy requires you to apply a common leveling pattern that is used for almost all comps, I suggest you to watch my leveling and econ guide, which gives you the push timing and the econ milestone to reach. Let's be honest guys, you didn't come for the first strategy. You click on this video because you wanted to learn the secret strategy that no one knows. Take your pen, take your notebook, because you will be served. The second way to achieve this late game Jinx carry comp is to play Ezreal reroll and Ziggs reroll. For this, you will need to have a start with 3 Yordles and open 4 during stage 2. The Yordle will give free access to Ziggs 3 and also extra cash to roll for Ezreal. Normally, with the last streak plus Yordle, you should have at least 50 gold at stage 3-6, and you can start slow rolling to find Ezreal 3 and Ziggs 3. Don't forget to buy any scrap you find such as Blitzcrank and Echo because they will fit your team very soon. Once you hit Ezreal and Ziggs 3, you can remove Yordle and play 4 scraps. You don't want to roll for Blitz 3 or Trundle 3. They will just suck up your econ like your girlfriend on her birthday. What? Normally by hitting 4 scraps plus Ezreal 3 plus Ziggs 3, you should hard win every single fight. Use this win streak to generate a massive amount of gold to push level 6, 7 and 8. You have to add 6 scrap on your board the moment you hit Janna to strengthen your board even more. And if your IMs are great and you have good augments as well, you should even be able to push level 9 from this point. You might ask why we play Ziggs 3. This unit is just useless and you don't even put items on him. Well, I think it's time to reveal the secret tech. At level 9, roll for Tahm Kench and Jinx. Once you fight both units, you have 2 choices. Either you already have great items for Jinx, so you don't need to remove Ezreal, or you need to switch Ezreal items for Jinx. In the first case, you can put Jinx instead of Ziggs, and you need to feed Tahm Kench with Ziggs 3. This will give him 102 AP in one single turn. Yes, the only purpose of Ziggs 3 is to get eaten by Tahm Kench. If you need to switch Ezreal items on Jinx, then feed your Tahm Kench with Ezreal 3. It will also give 102 AP in one turn. Oh, and if you have a scrap emblem, then you can feed both to Tahm Kench because you'll still be able to play 6 scraps anyway. Also, now that your Tahm Kench has a lot of AP, you can feed him units which grants armor or magic resistance depending on your lobby. You don't need to feed him more AP or health because he has already a lot of these statistics. If you find this video useful, please put a like on this video. It helps me to grow and reach even more people and motivates me to look for secret techs like this one. This tip is more like a general guideline for Tahm Kench. Usually you want to feed him AP until he reaches 200 AP in total. So basically plus 100 AP from Glutton and 100 AP because like every unit has naturally 100 AP. That is enough damage to one-shot most units. After that, you want to give him tankiness, so you can give him health, but since Scrap gives already a lot of shield, which is similar to health, it's better to give him defensive stats like armor or magic resistance. If you don't know exactly which unit gives which stats, remember just this. Bodyguard gives armor, Enchanter gives magic resistance, Bruiser, Colossus and Protector gives health, and everything else is AP. With that being said, tell me in the comments if you succeed with the secret tech and see you at the top of the ladder.